Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Mortgage Up with Ken and Dee. I'm happy to be with you this afternoon because we're gonna do something amazing. I know that we had a chance to meet me, talk about my childhood, talk about me today. We're gonna put Dee in the hot seat. We're gonna ask her some questions to make sure that you know who she is.
Right.
So before we started doing the show, we were talking, and we're like, it's good for us to be able to provide information to the people. But I want you to know who you're getting that information from.
Mhm.
So Dee, welcome to Mortgage Up
Yes,
with Ken.
yes. I'm so happy to be here. Very much looking forward to this today.
Okay, Dee, listen, I know you've been a real estate agent for a while. And again,
Yes.
congratulations for passing your test to become a mortgage broker. I'm
Thank
happy
you
for you. I'm happy for
so
you.
much. Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. Who is Dee
Okay,
exactly?
who is Dee? First of all, Dee is actually Deepali. So I go by Dee specifically for the purposes of business because over the course of years, it just became easier, for people to remember just going by, Dee for branding, business cards, what have you. Okay, I didn't get people asking all these questions. What is your name? How do you spell it? Where does it come from? But it's actually Deepali Tucker. So let's start there, first and foremost. That's my real name. Let's start with my real name first. What else do you want to
Okay, great,
know?
great. What a lot of people don't know,
Uh-huh.
Dee might have some Indian blood in herself. So I want you to tell the viewers about what's going on with Dee loving Indian food. Like you offered me to take me to that Indian restaurant. Tell me about that.
Okay, yes. So Indian food, obviously, my family is from India, and I grew up speaking the language. I grew up wearing the outfits. We grew up eating the food. We believe in big families, just like everybody else. When you come over Thanksgiving, Christmases, there's going to be 30 people in the house. There's going to be 10 cars out in front of the house. You're not going to find a place to park, but we enjoy each other. We enjoy good food and having fun. You know what I mean? That's what life is about. So that's what really kind of gave me the foundation, the basis of who I am today. That's where the name comes from. Hence, actually, Deepali, it means light in the Indian language of
Wow.
Hindi. Hindi means light,
Wow.
taken from the Festival of Lights. If you've ever heard of Diwali, that's where it comes from. It's a huge festival in India, celebrated
Okay.
every October, and I was born in the month of October as well. So, yeah, fun fact for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing. So, Dee, I would like to know, I know
Yeah.
that you've been a real estate agent for a while.
Yes.
So why?
Yeah. So why really for me real estate started several years ago. Let me back up a little bit and give you some background on kind of, my career prior to real estate because it kind of feeds one into the other. So I come from a 14-year background in human resources.
Okay.
I was director of human resources for a local company here in Charleston. And over the course of those 14 years, I had the privilege of hiring and unhiring a large number
You don't
of
want to say
people. I don't want to
fire?
say firing. I'm just going to say, reversing that, yeah, that action, unhiring. So
Okay.
hundreds of people. We had a call center here in Charleston, and there
Okay.
were a lot of people. So it was my job to do the recruiting, to do the HR, all of the above, the company policies and procedures, the manuals, all of that. So, what I like about that is that it gave me direct insight into working with our corporate attorneys. Why that's important is because compliance matters. I
Yes.
understand compliance, I understand contracts, and a large part of real estate is not just, let me just go open a pretty house for somebody to go see. You have to know what you're doing. You have to understand risk and liability. You have to be able to negotiate for your clients, but you also have to make sure that that contract is ironclad and that they are covered. You have to know what the seller's rights are, what the buyer's rights are, and keep yourself informed. So I kind of pride myself on coming to the table with those added skills. To me, it's about knowing how you're to navigate the laws and rules and regulations and the contracts. It's all important.
Good, good.
Hmm.
Thank you. Thank
Hmm.
you. So, one thing that I've learned
Yes.
about you,
Yes.
when we met, you're like, Ken, I am in school to become a loan officer.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow,
Yeah.
another me, because that's what I did almost
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
So, what made you choose to become a loan officer?
Okay, so really, because I saw you doing it so successfully, honestly, that's the natural answer. But
Come
I said,
on.
no, I'm serious. I said, if he can do it, then, maybe this is something that I can learn. But I
Okay.
love this skill set because you make it look really easy, and I know that it's not. There are probably more rules of compliance and regulations related with mortgages than there are with real estate. And so, yeah, I passed my test on the first try. I heard all these horror stories about it,
No.
none of which were really true. And, it wasn't as bad as people were making it out to seem. So I was able to kind of, obtain my license, and I'm really looking forward to that. But I want to be able to provide people with solutions. When people
Yes.
come to me, I'm a problem solver and a solutions finder. When people come to me, I want to be able to be a one stop shop for them. Whatever
Yes,
your
yes.
question is, I want to be able to answer it successfully. Whether it's about mortgages, whether it's financing, whatever it might be, I want to make sure that I have the knowledge now, legally, legitimately to be able to do that for you.
That's great,
Yeah.
great. Listen, I remember about 3+ months ago, you
Yeah.
came to me with a couple. You said, "Ken,
Yeah. Yeah.
I need you to help these people to
Yeah.
purchase a home because somebody else tried and it didn't work out."
Yes. Yes.
And with the passion that you had, you said, "Ken,
Yes.
um, I need to help those people."
Yes.
Share with our viewers, not in details, but
Yeah. Yeah.
what we had to do,
Oh.
how we were able to get them to the closing table, and now they own their home.
They own their home when they never thought that they could. What's beautiful about this is that, I think I'm the sort of person, and working with you has, taught me that you're the kind of person that when everyone else says something can't be done, we're going to work to find a way to get the job done within compliance, within laws and regulations. But just because somebody else says no, it doesn't mean that it can't be done. And I love that. I like being able to find solutions around problems that nobody else can. So, yeah, I mean, they were so ecstatic because this is something that so many people had turned them down with before. And I think that's huge because purchasing a home is a very emotional thing. So when you continue to hit walls in the process, people tend to take it personally. But when you find someone who can walk you through that and they can extract the emotionality out of it and they can help you get to the other side, you've earned a loyal customer for life. People are going to be coming to you
Absolutely.
for everything.
Absolutely, yes. And
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
people don't understand is that people sometimes, it's everybody.
Yeah.
If you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at time, people tend to do things that seems to be easier for them to do.
Yes. Yes.
And when it comes to complications, they don't want to deal
Deal
with
with
it.
it. Yeah.
And one thing that I have decided way back when I
Yeah.
started real estate and got into mortgage,
Yes.
um, when somebody say no,
Yeah.
for me is next opportunity.
Yes.
And when I tell somebody no, I mostly say
Mm.
not yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if there's a way, we'll find it.
Yes.
So one thing that I love about you is the fact
Mhm.
that you're always here in the office almost every day, um, working.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I know
Yes.
that one thing people don't know about you
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
is that you are a very, very early riser. You wake up very early in the morning.
I do. I
So
do.
what's a day for D look like?
Great question. I love that actually because my days are very important. How you start your day is everything. So for me, over the course of years, I've learned I do my best when I wake up super early. I'm talking between 4 and 5 a.m. military time, right? Yeah, I could have been doing that PT along with you. But it means everything because it sets the course for my day. And my morning meditation time is very important. My morning worship time, it sets the course for everything. And when I'm centered and in the place that I need to be, then that exudes kind of naturally out of you to everything around you. And when you're in this business, it's really about people. And that's what, being in human resources, being in real estate has taught me. It's about how well you serve people. They want to walk away from you with an experience that they're going to remember. And whether it's positive or negative, that depends on you. And what they walk away with is how did you make them feel, not how much you know. So they don't really care about how much you know. They don't care about how smart you are, how much experience you have. Those are great things. That's icing on the cake. But what experience did you give them when they walked away from you? That is what I think, that's what I'm mindful of every morning. So I start my day with the experience that I would want others to have as well. And so I carry that throughout my day, my morning meditation, my reading, my scripture time, my worship time, and then also my breakfast, my coffee. I drink about 3 cups of coffee over the course of the entire day. I'm not the same. I have to say, I'm not the same without my coffee. And
Okay,
then I
good
come
to
into
know.
work, I start doing kind of my administrative tasks first thing. When I'm able to start making calls, I start calling people from that point forward when it's okay to do so after 9, 10 a.m. and hit the ground running. And you have to love what you do. So if you don't love what you do, it's hard to kind of bring that out to people. And I just, when you enjoy your life and your day, that's what you bring to the table. That's your greatest gift to people, I feel.
Absolutely, absolutely. So have you ever found yourself in a situation where you wanted to quit?
That I wanted to quit real estate,
Yes,
period. Let
yes,
me tell you, there are some people in situations that potentially will put that kind of pressure on you, but you have to realize you have to take yourself out of the situation and understand that it's not personal, that it's whatever it is that they're dealing with, whether it's a personality, issue, whether it's a process issue, it is something that someone else is dealing with that they may or may not be projecting on you that doesn't have to do with you personally. So once you have those boundaries set up, then it's very difficult for other people to push you into doing something that maybe you don't really want to do. Now the business itself has gotten a little bit harder. We all know some of the changes with real estate, the contract changes, the buyers agency agreement changes, and the laws regarding that, the commission. It's all over the news. But you have to keep that out of your head because there are people who find ways to be successful no matter what the market is doing,
yes.
no matter what contract changes, no matter what industry changes. So what are those people focused on? They're focused on serving people and they're focused on solutions. And I think as long as you do that, you will find your way through any industry transition that you might be facing. And that's what I
Absolutely.
try to keep in
Yes,
mind.
like Zig Ziglar said, when you help enough people to get what they
Yes,
want, you will
yes,
get what you want.
absolutely.
That's pretty powerful. So
Yeah,
I know that you right now you're getting ready
yeah.
to become a loan officer.
Wow,
Of course, it's totally different than real estate.
whole different world.
Being a loan officer, you have the power to
Yes,
basically tell somebody, I can do the loan or
right,
you're not
right.
qualified. With your experience in real estate as well
Yes,
as HR,
yes.
how would that impact your decision when you're working with a borrower?
Absolutely. So for me, I learned very early on, over 14 years ago in my real estate, in my HR experience prior to coming to real estate, that when someone is sitting in front of you, learn to see the person for who they are. Whether I was recruiting, whether I was hiring, whatever it wasn't about the resume. It wasn't about the piece of paper, the numbers, the information. Because in any business, it's very tempting to be able to disassociate yourself from people and just look at another name, another number, another closing, and not to make it personal. But for me, I got to learn the intangibles. Okay, learn to read people, understand what they're not saying. It's not so much about what they tell you about who they are, it's also about what they don't tell you. What is often left unsaid is just as important, if not more important, than what is being said. So you learn all of that by learning people their stories. You understand people's motivations. Why are they doing what they're doing? And once you learn that, then you can help people transition through and find solutions for whatever the issue might be. So look beyond the piece of paper, is what I'm
Absolutely,
saying.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It's very hard to find
Mm-hmm.
people, agents
Yeah.
out there that focus mainly on the people.
Yeah.
Usually what happened, um, they tell the agents, hey, become an agent.
Yep.
Easy
Yep.
money.
That's it.
You make your hours working whenever you want to.
Yeah.
One thing that they don't realize is that that cannot be further from the truth.
Let me tell you, it is not easy. It never has been easy. It won't be easy. If you look at it that way, then you're not going to last very long in the business. I'm telling you. Yeah. So as long as your motivations are right, then the pieces will fall into place like they need to. And, I'm all about resources, Ken. Like I come to you all the time with questions because I know that I can trust the information that I get from you. This business is about networking. It's also about putting all the resources together. For me, over the course of one transaction, it's not just closing the deal and getting it to the closing table. I know contractors, I know home stagers, I know people every step of the way. That way, if my client needs something, hey, you need home staging? I got a guy. You need an electrician? I got a guy. At closing, I have this lady who comes and she puts up these beautiful, sparkling signs, congrats, whatever, with the client's name on the front lawn once we're done. So it's about building experience that people can remember. And I really believe that that's something that you have to push to the forefront because that's what people want. They don't want just another agent that they can call up, find somebody online. They want the most important experience of a lifetime to be memorable. So what kind of memories are you helping people obtain along the way?
Great, great. That's always the best way to go about it because
Yeah.
what happened when you're working with somebody they feel like you worry more about yourself than themselves,
Yes.
they will be like, okay, I had one of my clients that said something way back,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes people, when, like you said earlier, they might have a bad day and
Yeah.
you don't know
Yeah.
what happened,
Yeah.
and you always try to give them grace, always try to
Yes.
give them a chance because you never know.
Yeah.
So that client told me,
Yeah.
um, I was in the hospital. He called, I couldn't answer.
Yeah.
He basically called twice, and
Mm-hmm.
when I didn't answer, he sent me a long text.
Mm.
And I would say that day I was kind of upset.
Yeah.
And when I text him
Mm-hmm.
to tell him, hey, I think I am gonna have to release you as a
Mm-hmm.
client
Mm-hmm.
because I'm right now in the hospital
Wow.
and you called. So
Yeah.
I always answer your phone calls.
Yeah.
I always reply to your text.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll find demanding clients.
Yeah.
So when you find somebody that seems to be unreasonable, how do you deal with that?
Absolutely. So, it's often said that sometimes your greatest strength can also be, kind of a weakness as well. And so I love helping people, yes. But sometimes there are some people, for whatever reason, they might want to either, push that boundary a little bit to where they expect you to do, things that might not be, kind of in your pocket or line of work to do. So I help as much as I possibly can, or that's right for me to do so. And then when it's something that the client needs to kind of handle on their own and take care of on their own, then that is also something that I do my best to make clear. So I
Okay.
think, people feel that, if you hire an agent that they're on call 24 hours a day, you're at my beck and call. You get to do whatever I want and whatever I own you sort of syndrome, comes to play. And that's not always the case. So you very politely, professionally, you have to maintain those boundaries. So I let people know. I say, hey, I work from X amount of time to this amount of time. You can call me, text me anytime. Usually Sunday, mornings, I'm not available. I set those boundaries up front, and I let them know. I let them know. So it's clear.
Absolutely, yes. And sometimes people don't understand, buyers or sellers think that
Yeah,
we don't have a life.
exactly.
We work 7 days a week. Basically, like you set the expectation. They
Up
know what to
front.
expect up front.
Correct.
So whenever that
Correct.
happens, they will not, well, they still, some will
Some
also
people
be,
will. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
client that called me
Hmm.
at 9:30 at night and upset about something.
Yeah.
And I said, ma'am, I can't do anything right
About
now.
this.
The
Yeah.
banks are closed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even if I try to call somebody, nobody's going to answer. I answer your
Exactly.
call because I know that if you call that late, it must
Yeah.
be something important.
Really
But
important.
unfortunately,
It doesn't always work that way.
no,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
some people believe that the world evolve around them.
Them, yeah. And to
So
go back and really answer your question in depth about, asking about, this in the first place, really, what it comes down to is also interviewing your clients and who you're working with. It's not just about, getting hired. Oh my God, I'm a realtor, I'll take everything and anything that comes in. You have to also make sure it's a good fit
absolutely.
for
For
you.
exactly,
You have to,
exactly, yeah.
kind of hire them as much as they're wanting to hire you. So you have to make sure it's a good fit. And I think that alleviates a lot of the issues that you may incur down the line up front because you know that this is someone I can work with. We can work well together.
Yeah, absolutely. I always
Yeah.
tell them, yes, we have an agent's agreement, but that's not
Yep.
a contract to tie you up. If you feel
Exactly.
like I'm not providing the service that I
Yes.
promised to provide you,
Yes.
just let me know. I'll be more than happy to let you go.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what's more important is that customer become a client and that
Yes.
client send you many, many more clients. That's the
Absolutely.
way it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
So, it's so crazy because nowadays people find people online,
Yes.
Zillow,
Randomly.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
people even use AI
Yes.
to
Yes.
buy home. So, question for you:
Yeah.
with the new trend in the industry, do you see at some point agent will be replaced by AI?
I do not. I don't think you can ever replace an agent. There will always be a human component attached to real estate. It cannot be done successfully, no matter what you hear on the news, no matter what everybody is, kind of touting out there. It cannot be done successfully without that human interaction because there are pieces, there are gaps that, technology cannot fill. It doesn't matter what
Absolutely,
it is.
absolutely.
Right. And because there's an intangible component, which is the human component, and most of what you're dealing with in real estate, a large part, as you well know, can attest to, is the human psyche. It is the buyer psychology. It is
Psychology, yeah.
seller psychology, and AI can never account for that. That is where we come in. They can't walk into a home and, smell mold and then, tell your client, you might need to get a mold inspector. They can't read body language if your client is in front of you and they're either stressed or they may or may not want to do something. They don't know how to take that next step to ask those questions.
Absolutely. And
So,
yes, I agree with you.
yeah,
AI is a great tool.
yeah,
People need to use it. I use
yeah.
it a lot in my
Yes,
business.
yes.
However, you know, as you say, the human part of transaction in real estate or
Mhm,
mortgage
mhm.
cannot be replaced. You have to
Yes,
have that human
yes.
component of the transaction.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you so much for taking time to share with us,
So welcome.
everything about you. We appreciate
Yes,
that. We hope that
my pleasure.
our viewers, you learn about Dee, and over the next couple months, years, you will be able um, to learn from her all the talents that she has. She's very smart, very talented.
Thank you
So
so
again,
much.
Dee, thank you so much, and I appreciate the fact that you trusted me and you came to my office and start working with me
That's
and
amazing.
share with you little that I know.
Oh,
And I really appreciate the opportunity.
you've already shared a lot, and I really respect the partnership. Thank you so much, and I'm so looking forward to it.